Their team is 3 of them.
Ready? All right, good afternoon, everyone. This is a resumption of City Council's review of the Mayor's proposed FY25 budget. The afternoon session is going to commence with a presentation of the Atlanta City Council's budget. Ms. Kempson-Wright, introduce the public to your team and take it away.
Mr. Chair and members of Council, good afternoon. My name is Santana Kempson-Wright, City Council Staff Director, and it is my pleasure to be here with you to give the Atlanta City Council's fiscal year 2025 budget briefing. I would first like to introduce the Council team joining me on stage today. To my left is Municipal Clerk Corinne A. Lindo. To her left is Deputy Municipal Clerk Teresa Payne. And to her left is Assistant Deputy Municipal Clerk Evelyn Scott. To my right is Council Communications Director Zena Lewis. We are also joined by other members of our incredible team in the audience. Before I begin, I would like to take the opportunity to express my sincerest appreciation and gratitude for each and every team member that aids me in providing the support to this department. As Council Staff Director, my office provides support to the entire City Council department. We're responsible for, well, you already know what we're responsible for. So we will jump right into it. Clicker. Thank you, sorry. On the second slide, you will see before you the organizational structure chart for the Atlanta City Council. Myself and Corinne A. Lindo lead the incredible team that supports you all, with the Office of Research and Policy, the Office of Business Support Services, the Office of Communications, and the Office of the Municipal Clerk. A few FY 2025 departmental highlights include the City Council allocating additional funding for the Affordable Housing Trust Fund, establishing the Atlanta Community Energy Fund for low-income residents, working alongside the administration and Mayor Andre Dickens. This Atlanta Community Energy Fund supports installing and outfitting energy efficiency measures for low-income residents. You completed the City of Atlanta's first neighborhood heat vulnerability assessment. This is the most comprehensive report of this kind ever commissioned by a major U.S. city, identified where residents experience the greatest levels of heat exposure and its adverse impacts. You've increased funding for House Proud Atlanta for senior home repairs, allocated additional resources for senior programs in the Department of Parks and Recreation, and established commissions, accepted recommendations to appropriately honor various noteworthy individuals, including, and this is just some, renaming Beckwith Street to Dr. Thomas W. Cole Jr. Way in recognition of the first president of Clark Atlanta University, renaming Foster Place to Dr. Toussaint King Hill Drive Place in recognition of the longest tenured pastor of historic West Hunter Street Baptist Church, renaming Anderson Park to Coach Charles Rambo Park in recognition of former Parks and Recreation Department Director who led over 48 members to participate in Olympic track trials, renaming the historic 4th Ward Skate Park to Thomas Fielding Taylor Memorial Skate Park. He founded Atlanta's first-owned skater-owned skateboard shop and was instrumental in making 4th Ward Skate Park a reality in District 2. Renaming Haynes Manor Park to Sam's T. Roberts Memorial Park, who's known for his restoration efforts for over 2 decades in that community. And also the ceremonial renaming of Concourse D to the Michael R. Hollis Concourse, who founded one of the earliest Black-owned airlines for Air Atlanta. On slide 4, you will see support service summaries. This is a summary of the Research and Policy Analysis team and the Business Support Services, which is the Office of Support Services, includes our IT and logistics areas. There were over 27 research requests completed by the Research and Policy team, 371 pieces of legislation drafted, 16 work sessions, boards, commissions, other meetings attended, 1,454 pieces of legislation analyzed, and we staffed approximately 237 hours of meetings, including all committee meetings and full council meetings. The Business Support Services processed over 808 of your purchase orders, 754 direct pays, which is 1,562 invoices. Various HR transactions over 74, 14 budget adjustments and journal entries, over 2,000 technical requests resolved, and 47 re-imaged computers. I will now turn it over to Mr. Zena Lewis, the Director of Communications.
Good afternoon, Chair Shook, council members. Zena Lewis, Communications Director, Atlanta City Council Office of Communications. The slide before you displays our media analytics and metrics. Let's start with the first table at the top on your left. Social media steadily increased over the years with a collective 11% increase across all of our platforms for this cycle. The next table, distribution surrounding our external communications, our press releases and advisories had a 51% increase. Moving over the next table, something of a little bit more significant interest are positive and negative media sentiments. So the sentiment is a metric to give us an insight on how a stakeholder or reader perceives a story. The data is a collection of all news articles and broadcasts locally, nationally, and abroad, featuring either the council members, council president, the full council, and/or legislation passed by the body. In 2023, 458 articles were tagged positive, and to date, there are currently 835 articles in circulation in which the algorithm highlighted is encouraging. This indicated an 82% increase in positive reaction from last year. The next table, in spite of the arrow pointing down, I mean, you see it's green, it's pointing down because that's a good thing. The share of voice from articles that spark negative engagement are down 62%. As I mentioned, our press, wire, and distribution crosses borders. So down at the bottom, our international coverage has skyrocketed to more than 4,000 articles stemming from July 1st of last year. Our proclamation count was expected to increase. We had less than 100 in the first year of the pandemic, and for this fiscal year, we have an increase of 54% from 2023. Two other components that our office manages is the production of video news packages, news stories, and speech writing. Both are down from last year as the numbers show, respectively. I do want to take a moment to recognize our video content crew. They recently received the Telly Award for the package highlighting the achievements of Stony Cooks. They deserve a round of applause. With that in mind, I do want to recognize our staff, Kirsten Pace, Stefan Dennis, Dexter Andrews, and Phyllis Jackson. Additionally, we have several new staff members that have had made an immediate impact, and Brian Ezeke, Bill Dowdy, and Tiffany Kelly. Also would like to mention Michael Ulmer, as he was a member of our staff last year and was part of our efforts. So thank you all, council members, for allowing us to strengthen our comms team with additional positions. The equipment, we do love our toys, the equipment, and all the resources that you've given us over the last year. And so I'll yield over back to our council director.
Thank you, Mr. Lewis. Fiscal year 2025 priorities are highlighted on the next slide, slide 6. We would like to implement recommendations from the council expense audit. This includes updating documented policies to help mitigate risk, ensure compliance, and strengthen financial controls, training, tracking, computer equipment and inventory, and working with the law department to assist with establishing uniform practices for donations. We will continue to partner with user agencies and the administration to obtain best-in-class electronic legislative management system and website design. So I know that you all feel that ELMS is already past its life cycle. However, we've been steadfastly working with AIM and procurement to ensure that we have a software and application that meets your needs. The end of life cycle for ELMS is fall 2027. We look forward to investing in innovative technology and digital trends that will be beneficial for the department's growth, and also continuing to focus on professional growth and development for the team and team members. Just as a point of reference, there is a departmental PC refresh that is ongoing. Hopefully will be completed by August of this year. This will include all desktops, monitors in council chamber, committee rooms, and your actual suites. The last time that these items were, replaced would have been 2019 and 2016. And so we're in the process of securing ordering for all of these particular devices that are needing. We're also working with the Department of Atlanta Information Management on website advancements for the City Council website and all of the platforms located there, and working with DEEM for security enhancements along with emergency preparedness on entry points. I will now turn it over to Municipal Clerk Corinne A. Lindo.
Good afternoon, Chair Shook and members of council. As you know, the Office of the City Clerk is responsible for performing, serving internal and external customers, and primarily providing support to council during council meetings. We also are responsible for annexation and other many services that we provide to the public. I've highlighted here just a few of the primary tasks that our office works on. We've issued about 85 domestic partnerships. That's certificates they're very valuable to citizens of Atlanta. They allow couples who choose not to enter into matrimony to provide services, including health benefits or life insurance. So that's a very valuable service that we provide to our citizens. Also, our technical team here has resolved over 527 user issues. We service the ELMs for the entire city, meaning every user in the city calls the city clerk's office whenever they have a problem with entering legislation or routing legislation. Our team here, led by Ms. Evelyn Scott, is always on hand to help them solve these issues, and she has single-handedly addressed about 527 issues. We also do a lot of research daily, and I'm new to the office, I didn't realize it, but we have people from all over the world, attorneys and citizens calling to find out historical legislation from the Office of the City Council, and that's led by Mr. Lamar Parks, who is an invaluable member of our team. He served the city for over 27 years, and he has a way of finding information back to the 1960s. I mean, I'm just really impressed by his research abilities and how he serves the community daily. We also service the base that's led by Mrs. Sean Brown, and we've sworn in about 90 base members of the public to serve our boards and commission, and we're working on trying to enhance that process because we think the base is very important to get citizens engaged in government, and so we're looking forward to 2025 to develop a procedure where we can enhance more citizens to get involved. So you can look for that in 2025. And we'll be looking for the support of the council to help us revise the way in which we establish bases so we can make them more useful to you and also to better engage our citizens. Thank you for your support.
I will now review the topic that we're here for, your budget. The City Council budget, comprised of 5 operational areas: the elected official offices, the Office of Research and Policy Analysis, the Office of Communications, Office of Support/Business Services, and the Office of Municipal Court. Has now proposed for $13,067,278. This is approximately $197,000 increase from last year. On slide 9, you will see the historic budget trends over the past few years. Slide 10 will go into the specific variances. There is an increase of $834,000 compared to last year. This is the total personnel costs. This equivalents to an additional $15,000 for each of your offices that will be placed in each of your budgets. Your personnel budgets will now be slated at $230,000. Your expense account will now be from $51,000 to $70,000 for each of these 16 offices. In fiscal year 23, we had 48 full-time equivalent positions. This does include the 16 elected official positions. Fiscal year 24, there were 51 positions. And for fiscal year 25, we are proposed to have a total of 52 positions. That equivalents to 24 positions in the council staff office and 12 positions in the Office of the Municipal Clerk. I'm sorry. Total operating is down or decreased by $636,000. However, the key preliminary driver here is your council carry forward. As you know, in October, there is a true up of those funds every year. And so we will reallocate those funds appropriately at the end and close out of the fiscal year 24. And with that, I will take any questions.
Thank you. I'll start off with a few observations and questions. I mean, I hope the public fully appreciates how frugal this budget is. It doesn't even begin to keep up with the rate of inflation. So tech support, 1,340. I don't think they were all mine, but probably most of them were, so I appreciate y'all as always. Speaking of tech, so catch us up about Elms and where we are.
So the current system that we're using, Elms, which is commissioned by, or currently by Granicus, who has acquired not only our platform, but several platforms, will decommission, I believe, in 2027 is the end of life. So we are in a critical state. I won't say a dire state, but we are working very passionately with the AIM, Atlanta Information Management Department, as well as Department of Procurement, to ensure whether it's a custom build or another platform that hopefully will not be acquired by Granicus, will be able to support your needs.
Yeah, we're going to have to be careful. I mean, as you know, it would be really disruptive for us to purchase a system that would force us to change, to significantly change how we have always conducted our business.
And that is being taken into serious consideration.
I'd like to add, Chair Shook, that we're actually looking to enhance some of the functions, including adding a base interface where we can sort of get citizens applying online. So not to decrease what you have, but really to enhance the functions that we currently provide to the council.
Okay, thank you. With the communications group, I think the stuff looks really sharp that comes out of this office. Like really professionals. It's come a really long way since I first got it. So I appreciate that. Where are you with your staffing right now?
Well, we added 2 new PIOs. We added another videographer in the last fiscal year. We're moving on to a graphic designer. Hopefully we'll have room, but we're able to now keep up a bit more. We're going to assist the Office of the Municipal Clerk with some of their external communication efforts too. So the additional funding and the additional support staff really helped as we move into to the next year.
And currently overall, I'm sorry, Chair Shook, there are 5 vacancies in council staff overall. That includes the Office of Communications and 2 within the clerk's office.
Well, I know you're doing double duty.
Triple duty.
Triple duty. Mm-hmm. So you're working at a class. When is that going to get fixed?
Let's get through budget.
So when Ms. Norwood and I first fell off the turnip truck here, it was the policy and research staff, and they did research. And you could go to Hazel, and you could say, hey, I want to know what these 20 cities have alike or unalike in terms of an STR policy. And I mean, you'd get it. Over the years, slowly but surely, it just petered out. It's petered away. I mean, policy research is what we do at 10 o'clock at night or 8 o'clock Saturday morning. Has there been any thought to sort of finding our way to sort of regrow that?
Actually, over the years, the prior council staff director, Mr. Pace, that was an initiative that he wanted to undertake and felt very strongly about it. However, I will say the needs of council have significantly shifted since when you first stumbled upon council.
Indeed.
So legislation in the manner that is drafted, the requirements that you all have for the staff is completely different. So I will say this, we don't necessarily get a lot of requests for research. However, we are more than willing and able. I believe in the presentation on slide 4, we had a total of 27 research requests. So if we receive them, then we do move forward with them. We would like to be, however, more proactive and just looking at things on our own. However, time is of essence, and whether it's a staffing issue, perhaps, but honestly speaking, on behalf of the analysts that sit in those roles, there is not a lot of time from their day-to-day between staffing meetings week to week.
I mean, it would mean hiring more than a couple new people.
Agree.
And so, I mean, that's going to require just a lot of discussion and back and forth with us. But I just recall that we had that, and to be honest, the way things are now, unless we self-research something, we're heavily reliant on what the administration puts in front of us. And I don't know if that's the most healthy way to do that. Well, I mean, it's from top to bottom. I mean, this is the best, most professional staff that I've benefited from. It's those of you who deal with the public every day. It's a great look to the public compared to some instances in the past. So I thank you all for your work. Again, the budget is just incredibly flat and does not even keep up with inflation. So if you're frugal, and I am, that's a good thing. Mr. Wan.
Thank you, Ms. Kempson, Mr. Chair, and then Ms. Kempson-Wright and Ms. Lindo for your presentation. I want to step in and lean in a little further on the research capacity, because I do think, I could see a scenario where if either there is a dedicated individual or you figure out a way that you add on someone that can take care of some of the administrative, managerial, council committee support roles to free up their time. I could see it where at the beginning of every calendar year or legislative year, the chair and the committee support person sit down and go, okay, we know these are the topics that are going to come up. Let's go ahead and set some research topics at the beginning so that when they come through, we'll already have that base information rather than, oh, someone dropped a piece of legislation, let's research it now. So, I think to the extent that you, and this is for you, Ms. Kempson, right? I mean, you look at your org structure and see if there's a way to reshuffle the deck, or if you need to add some extra cards, then we should talk about it, because like Mr. Shook said, it's things move faster now. There's a lot of different topics, and for us to get caught behind the 8 ball is not to the best service of our constituents and the city. So think about that. Actually, what I really wanted to ask about was the class and comp study that's coming through, specifically on council staff, not your team, but there was talk about trying to create some standardized bands of staff categories for us so that we don't trip ourselves up with employment law. Part-time, full-time basis, appropriate compensation for skill level and expectations and job requirements. So have you seen anything yet in terms of the results for our side of the house, of the building? And is that something that we think we still might try and look at going into the next fiscal year, provided the class and comp study gives us the information we need?
Councilmember One, so thank you for your question and for your comment. I will first go to the research. I believe there would be a need for additional staff, honestly. And it is something that is very important. However, there could be some restructuring. However, there is a need for additional staff for that.
And, go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Well, I was saying, and don't feel like you just have to go hire a research person. I do think if you might have the ability to have some more administrative support for the across all committees that can then, run meetings and make, that kind of thing, to free up your committee staff. People are really well knowledgeable and have, based on the experience they have working with us already, have topic familiarity that puts them in the best position rather than trying to go find someone else outside. So they be creative about it.
Okay.
So,
Will
sorry.
do. Regarding the compensation study, yes, speaking with the compensation director, there was discussion concerning the council member positions. So there will be some modifications that are brought forward with that. It's my understanding, I believe, that the compensation legislation may be introduced sometime early next month, but to be implemented in fiscal year 25.
Yeah.
Because of the variances between each of the offices, and we don't have to go into the details, but you're knowledgeable of them, it was somewhat difficult to try to establish tiers, because what may work for your office will not work for another district and their staff.
Sure.
So it's somewhat open-ended, but it is actually bringing us into compliance with fair standard labor.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest concern I have, and that I feel has got will be the best tool for us to make any adjustments we can to make sure we're in compliance, but also I think just to give a little more guidance that, and it's not hard, fast rules, it's just guidance, because a lot of us, like, I don't necessarily have employment law experience, and I want to make sure I'm doing right by my team members. So yeah, I look to you to help once that comes in to help us. So,
Will do. And we'll make sure there are educational sessions as well.
okay. All right, Mr. Chair, that's it for me.
Well, thank you very much. I definitely want to take the opportunity to thank you for the work that you all do, year round. I know, 15 personalities is nothing to sneeze at.
16.
16, okay.
Well, we're down to 15.
This is true, 16. Yeah. Personalities is nothing to sneeze at. And I just really appreciate the effort that you put out in making sure that we all feel as if you work just for us, just for my district, just for, District 1. I don't feel as if we're all treated differently, and I appreciate that. And even if I do, when I do speak with you, it feels as if a correction is made or you explain what was happening at the time, on and on. And it's really about collaboration and making sure that you all have all the tools that you need to make us look as professional and accountable to our communities as possible. And I think you do a phenomenal job of that. And I think that's the bottom line. So for that reason, I definitely will support any budget ask that you all have. I don't begin to feel that I know what you need inside your office, but I do know the product that you all put out. So I'm here to help you in achieving that in any way. I love it when I look and I see the people that we work with day in and day out. We have such a strong team. It's small and mighty, but it's very strong and communicative and responsive, and I just thank you for all of that. So just wanted to take the opportunity to do that each and every budget season. I am very open to adding whatever it is you all need to continue the good work that you're doing. So thank you.
Thank you. Others? Okay. Oh, Ms. Moon, I'm sorry.
Thank you, team. I just wanted, I will be brief, but I want to thank you all so much for what you all do. It feels like a family around here. I think at least 90% of everybody's happy working in the City of Atlanta City Council offices. So just want to thank you all for answering the call, midnight, on the weekends. You all always make yourselves available. So we really appreciate that, and especially to our director, our communication staff, Mr. Lewis and Phyllis and Kirsten and Dexter and Brian. I hope who am I missing? But oh yeah, and Stefan.
Stefan and
Yes.
Stefan.
Thank you for all you all do, because every office is different, and some of us are out in the community, some of us are mentally heavy, policy-wise, some of us are just balanced, and you all do a wonderful, magnificent job. The speech writing is unbelievable. The communications with the media is wonderful, and especially for those that go outside of our normal routine of working with kids. We see a lot of that, and a lot of citizens appreciate what you all have captured. Congratulations on that award. We're going to look forward to celebrating with the Honorable Ambassador Young. A lot was put into that video. Just know that we do not take you for granted. Will you all please stand? David Johnson, Jared, all of them. Are they here too?
Actually at professional development
Let
training
them know
managerial
that
at Emory.
let them know, Mr. Overton, let them know that we truly appreciate what they do. When we get here, they have everything laid out. They've done their research, their homework. We're just very happy with you all. I do have a couple of suggestions. Every city department, pretty much, at least 70% of them, do have a graphic artist on staff. That is something that will be really, really helpful to us. If we had a graphic person that could do flyers and make some of our reports look really, really nice, because of course we wouldn't want to burden you all, even though you all are multi-talented. That would really be great. And we just want to know what you need. You know, we don't want you all to get to the middle of the road and say, oh, I wish we had done this, or I wish we had done that. Want to take care of our own. So make sure that you all are taken care of as far as your equipment and anything else you need. We value you. Thank you.
Councilmember.
Thank you. All right, seeing,
Chair Shook, if I'd like to just, if we can just, Miss Pat Marshall will be retiring from the city. So I just wanted to have council member, this will be her last budget session. So I hope we just wish her well. She's working to the last minute, organizing the office before she leaves.
Well,
So I just
congratulations.
wanted,
And I
Council-
hope we will have something for her. When is her last day?
June 5th, and we will
Well,
have.
make
yeah.
sure that she has been a dedicated and diligent servant. So we want to make sure that we recognize her years of service here. Thank you.
yep, thank you for mentioning that. I didn't mean to cut anybody off. If there's nothing else, then thank you. Y'all are excused. Can
Oh, I'm sorry,
Get back
one
to it.
last thing.
Yes, ma'am.
So I apologize. I have a few shout outs. So Jared and David are not with us today because they are at Emory University attending a managerial development training. I want to shout out Miss Bridget Butler Brown. She is not with us today. She's on vacation, but she was the recipient of the City of Atlanta Woman of Impact Award. And Zena, you stole my thunder because we just received the information yesterday
My
about the
crew.
Telly Award for the Stony Cook piece.
That is a big deal. Sorry, but that was a big deal.
And also, we have an individual who is, I believe, out in the audience, Ms. Wasona Griffin. Ms. Wasona has not submitted any retirement paperwork yet. However, Ms. Wasona has 32 years and has been invaluable to the council staff.
Miss Wasona Griffin, thank you. Wasona, congratulations.
And just another thank you for each and every person that helps to actually put everything together for each of you. It's impossible without each and every one of them. And I won't name everyone's name, but each and every person on the team.
But I do want to just again let the public know that you all are some really creative minds. If you look at what we've done over the past 3 years and 4 years, if you go back and look, it's just unbelievable. So thank you all so much. Those wonderful, wonderful videos and clips and press releases and going out capturing what the students and the elderly are saying in the community. Thank you.
All right, thank you. That wraps up this session. Council members, we can have about a 15-minute break, and then we will reconvene for a presentation of the dreaded personnel paper.
Oh, God. Thank you.
because this running back and forth is just not going to work. I have a generic question before we continue. How much of what was in the pay and class recommendations is reflected in this personnel paper?
That would be all your full-time permanent employees' positions.
I mean, it seems like there's an awful lot of reclasses, but I don't know if that's off the top of my head, if it's more or less from in a percentage standpoint from, prior personnel papers.
So we did do a data refresh with the vendor. That will be the Evergreen study. So all the latest changes, they do have those. When HRIS prepares to implement these changes, the changes that are in the personnel paper, we'll have to incorporate that with the study.
Okay, so that's going to be a heavy lift then.
Yes.
Okay, continue.
Section 4, Atlanta Information Management has a total of 4 actions. In funding, allocation of one position is to align funding more appropriately. The reclassification with incumbents are to properly reflect the duties and responsibilities of the incumbents. Any questions?
All right, so colleagues, I'm going to leave it up to you. Just jump on your mic and don't seek recognition from me. Just ask your question. Okay, continue.
Okay. Section 5, Audit, total of 2 proposed actions, adding 2 new positions to create a rapid response team to better respond to small audit requests, planning to fill these positions mid-year. Okay. Section 6, Aviation, total proposed actions on 138, position transfers to improve organizational realignment and intra-departmental transactions, reclassification of authorized FTE positions filled and vacant to address changes in reporting relationships, job function, and scope to better align with organizational priorities and required skills, further refinement and alignment of maintenance positions to differentiate the apprentice program from other positions, and address salary, equity, and retention of employees performing to meet standards and expectations. Any questions?
So I think what a lot of us are going to have to do is digest this, between now and Wednesday. So question, how many substitutes are coming? Are we going to get a substitute on Wednesday and then another one on the floor during budget adoption?
At the moment, right now, we have no substitutions. I'm not sure if I'm going to receive something from the departments before Wednesday, but right now, you won't receive any from
Probably
what
just
you've already
jinxed it by saying that's not going to happen, but we'll pray.
So you'll just have that one.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Chairman Shook, the intent is to have any substitutes at any event through the budget for FEC, like all amendments,
Including the personnel paper.
including personnel paper actions to be part of the FEC prior to budget adoption.
Thank you.
All right. Section 7, Citizen Review Board, total proposed actions. 1, to reclassification of Community Affairs Assistant to Office Manager to improve management of office operation across the units and to establish a consistent point of contact for enterprise contact and board and vendor operations. City Planning, total actions. 40, position creations will replace extra help positions, which will be closed once permanent positions are created. Creation of the Data and Strategy and Innovation Team to lead the department's data management and process improvement efforts. Reclasses are due to DCP's continued implementation of the recruitment and retention plan. The department is committed to retaining current staff who has performed exceptionally well and has taken on additional responsibilities. Any questions? Okay. Corrections, Section 9. Total proposed, 7. Management and oversight for Grady detention and inmate outside detail services, mission critical requirements and support to align and structure appropriately, overtime management and reduction. Okay. Customer service, total actions. 58. New job classifications are being created to foster promotional opportunities with the call center. These classifications are designed to bolster operational effectiveness and provide ATL 311 employees with pathways for career advancement, reflecting our commitment to workforce development. mission-critical positions creations to support the administration's expansion of service hours and the department's ongoing growth in enhancing customer service experience and technological capabilities. These positions are essential for addressing the increasing demands on ATL 311 service and infrastructure. Position reclassifications to ensure staff roles and responsibilities accurately reflect their prospective job roles and duties. This action includes additionally these reclassifications that will help the department transition several of their current extra help positions into funded permanent roles, salary adjustments to achieve salary parity, recognizing the increased responsibilities taken on by employees and ensuring fair compensation. Any questions?
Yeah, so the main driver here is the expanded hours?
Yes. Is there anyone from ATL 311?
Good afternoon. Yes, I'm Brianna Fawcett, Business Manager. That is correct.
Okay.
So all of our, out of the 27 new positions that are being created, 23 of those are for the expanded hours.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Section 11, Enterprise Asset Management. Total Action 7, provide growth opportunities for current employees and acknowledge their contributions and attitude in helping get things done, having a desire to learn more about departmental tasks and utilizing their degrees to identify and solve problems in the department, provide a dedicated maintenance staff to our public safety facilities, provide construction project management support for their growing number of new construction and renovation projects, provide administrative support for projects and operational support to other divisions within DEEM to align job functions to better improve on customer service response. Okay? There are no proposed actions for ethics. Executive Office, 41 total actions. Position creations to move staffers from extra help positions to active positions, no budget impact. Position transfers are needed to transfer positions in Executive Office of Innovation, Delivery, and Performance, and the Executive Office of Contract Compliance to correct funding stream, no budget impact. Reclassification with incumbent are to align staff work responsibilities whereby classification of title change is needed, no budget impact. Any questions?
Okay, we're going to have to stop here for a second. All right. So, no budget impact, yet we just heard this morning that there is an increase of $2.some million in salary line that was due to new positions. So, where's my disconnect? What am I missing?
Council member, I'll try to take a stab at it. The budget for FY25 reflects actions that have already happened in FY. So positions that were created in earlier, maybe mid-year personnel paper, positions that were brought in as extra help throughout the year that are carrying forward into the FY25 budget. Those positions are the ones being reflected in the proposed FY25 budget with the commensurate increase for salary. These are additional items that will reclassify the organizational structure, cause a budgetary impact. Right? People right now that are for help that will.
Okay.
If I could add, Councilmember Juan, Theo Pace, Deputy Chief of Staff, you may recall a number of pieces of legislation that have come before the council over the course of the last year, kind of under the offices, under the chief of staff, moving people to the correct function activity. So with the position transfers, that's all that does is put them under the correct function activity that could be charged appropriately for those positions.
Okay, so thank you for that reminder. So just to confirm what we heard this morning in the presentation in terms of the year-over-year variance with regard to staffing, it's with existing positions. And all we're doing here is it looks like, well, aside from the 6 position creations, just kind of moving people into the appropriate classification and title. Okay, all right. Thank you again. I do still want the creation position breakout for all the departments in terms of funded and unfunded. So thank you.
Okay, moving on to section 14, finance. Total proposed actions 14, growth and expansion of staff to support organizational needs. the optimization and alignment of staff to job functions, administrative changes to better reflect the structure of the organization. Any questions? Okay. 15, fire. Total actions 101, adding additional paramedic and EMT civilian medical responders for the expansion of the rapid response medics, creation of the Office of Governance to manage SOPs outside a mutual aid agreement and overall accreditation process, aligning resources with the department to enhance and streamline the community risk reduction communication team, 5th ambulance staffing, FAST and aviation special ops, and drone. Any questions?
Yeah, so, okay, 77 position creations. It says here, additional paramedic and AEMT civilian medical responders. Could someone just briefly tell me what the latter job description is and who would be filling those positions? And I guess we already have some of those positions.
Hey, good afternoon, Council.
Afternoon.
James McLemore, First Deputy with the Atlanta Fire Rescue Department. As you have asked about the AEMT, that's part of our ambulance units that we're putting up on the south side. And those are job creations to fully staff those as we expand that model of response for EMS across the city.
So we're going to be adding 77. Approximately how many existing positions are there?
Currently, there are about, I think it's 12 or 15, 12, yeah, 15.
So this is a major,
They're full.
a major expansion.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, section 16, grants and community development. Total proposed actions, 33, eliminating 13 unneeded positions, position creations to meet the needs of the department, permanently transitioning positions that were established when the department was initially established to Department of Grants and Community Development. Okay. 17, human resources. Proposed actions, 17, position creations to transition extra help staff into permanent positions, ensuring stability and long-term resource allocation, creating a social media manager position dedicated to enhancing the department's recruitment efforts through targeted social media strategies and campaigns, reclassifying certain positions to align more appropriately within the department, ensuring roles and responsibilities match organizational needs, adjusting the pay grade for the HR policy analyst position to reflect appropriate compensation and adherence to updated salary guidelines. Any questions? Section 18, Inspector General. 2 proposed actions. Reclassification of the business manager for OIG is the sole provider of administrative support for the office, executing all purchasing, formulating administrative policies, preparing budget, overseeing external correspondence, and tracking subpoenas, etc. Grade amendments are for 2, IG Director of Information and Outreach that performs dual functions, serving as a sole communications professional in the office and overseeing the office's education outreach efforts for this new city function. A review of communications and outreach positions across the city departments reveal that the position is functioning below grade level. Any questions?
I do have a question. Is the OIG here, or is the Inspector General here? Sorry, I can barely see it there. Hey, yesterday in your presentation, you mentioned that there were some additional reclasses and I believe you said that you had requested but were not included. Can you, I should have asked you then, but can you elaborate on what those are?
Sure. So we have a reclassification with incumbent, and then there are 2 actual salary grade amendments that were proposed. One that would impact both of the deputy inspectors general for the office, and the other that would address the director of information and outreach.
Do you know what the total budget amount would be if those 3 actions were granted?
My back of the envelope math on it was roughly $130,000.
Okay. And were you given a reason why they were not accepted?
No. No.
No? Okay. Thank you.
I will get with HRBP to make sure that's included if it's something that we missed.
Okay. We'll talk about it. Thank you.
Council member, add context behind. FY24, the office is expected to have an $400,000. We feel like there's capacity within the current funding structure to allow for any reclass. Happy to have conversations with OIG, HR, and everybody else in regards to shifting the resources from non-personnel line items that could help absorb that request.
So if I'm understanding you correctly, you're saying those actions can be taken just as a budget modification
Amendment.
from
We can take
current
it as a
year?
budget amendment
versus-
process internally to make sure that personnel items are right-sized, and find savings internally.
Okay, but sometimes you can't give a raise because the personnel position does not accommodate that. So is that not the case?
That's what I said, we have to have conversations with HR and OIG and everybody else. Constructs of personnel
Got it.
positions themselves. And I know when we're talking about grade expansion, that has reverberating effects throughout the city of Atlanta. So there might be thoughts about different things that HR might have with regards to assignments and grade allocations and bandwidth of a specific grade. But we're happy to have conversations with everybody before FEC on next Wednesday.
Thank you, Mr. CFO and Inspector General. If someone would just let us know.
Oh, I
results.
just want to mention with the study, there was a recommendation for a grade change for that deputy, so that's why we didn't incorporate it in the personnel paper.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, Section 19, judicial agencies, there are no proposed actions. Department of Labor, 18 proposed actions. Onboarded mid-level managers to increase the department's ability to provide career and employment services to targeted participants in the House. Transition classifications to include existing staff as well as vacant positions from the previous AWDA staffing department to the new AD Department of Labor hierarchy and reporting and structure. Reclassified positions to increase the efficient and measured use of funding and to better position staff to be utilized across multiple points of engagement for participants. Any questions? Okay. Department of Law, 8 total proposed actions. Law is recommending personnel actions to align resources and meet the business needs of the department. These requests are intended to allocate resources in the most effective way to increase productivity and efficiency. The Department of Law seeks to abolish 3 attorney positions in order to use salary savings towards retention of valuable staff members and recruitment of top talent for existing vacancies. And the creation of 1 claims investigator position to assist the claims group with investigation of a high volume of claims filed against the city of Atlanta. Any questions? Okay. Parks and Recreation, total actions 57. Improving service delivery pertaining to departmental maintenance areas is a priority as the city continues the expansion of green spaces, facilities, and amenities. Position creations of various maintenance-related positions to support these efforts. These positions will serve to promote improved service delivery in parks maintenance areas, including but not limited to litter pickup, natural areas, special events, trail maintenance, and graffiti removal. The department continues to expand youth and teen programming to ensure equitable access to high-quality, diverse programming at all recreation centers. Other actions intend to align resources more appropriately with departmental needs through position transfers or reclassifications. Any questions?
So is this part of the conversion of part-time to full-time? Is that a kind of fancier way of saying that? Is that what's happening here?
Is there a representative from the Department of Parks and Recreation?
Good afternoon, Councilmember Juan. The answer to your question is no, these are position creations mainly out of the 3501 or the park millage account. So this is part of our year 2 implementation plan.
So have we already done the kind of the conversion, any necessary actions regarding the conversion from part-time to full-time roles? Were there already positions done, or did we do that in the previous personnel paper?
No, we haven't been converting a lot of we don't have a lot of part-time positions. We have extra help or seasonal positions that we utilize for park maintenance activities, summer camps, et cetera. Those will continue. We're adding full-time positions, and the part-time people can promote into those roles.
Okay, why do I remember Parks was one of the ones where we had the most, like, is it going from extra help to full-time? Is that, am I conflating the part-time full extra help?
No, we had an increase, which was to cover premium pay. That was our personnel budget increase of.
Okay. For some reason, I thought y'all were kind of the poster child in terms of starting to right-size positions, extra help, part-time, and to find year-round positions for them. And I'm just curious as to how that flowed or flows through the personnel paper we've seen and the one we're seeing in front of us. And what I'm hearing you say is it's not.
No, what I'm saying is we have extra help, seasonal positions that we have on our
Sure.
books, and then we're creating these positions mainly in 3501 in order to meet the expectations of the millage implementation plan, and people can promote into those.
Okay. I'm going to have to revisit that. I'll get with you, Commissioner, and Finance and figure that out. Thanks.
Section 23, Police. 75 total proposed actions, creation of dispatcher positions for E911 due to switching to 10-hour shifts, creation of code enforcement officer positions, transition of certain roles from sworn to civilian personnel. Any questions? Section 24, procurement, total actions. 2, classification and pay grade adjustments are proposed to existing classifications and pay grades reflecting changes in departmental management hierarchy. These adjustments are crucial for aligning the responsibilities appropriately, thereby ensuring competitive and equitable structures within the department. Any questions? Section 25, public defender, proposed actions. 19, the creation of 5 lawyer support positions will assist the department in meeting national indigent defense guidelines and provide support for data initiative and client case management. Reclassifications with incumbents will support desires to align individuals with specialized duties being performed in the areas related to DUI, language access, in custody, and appeals. In addition, the development of an attorney staff in program management positions. Any questions? Section 26, Public Works, total proposed actions, 79. Proactive organizational realignment needed to substantiate department needs, align salary parity and efforts to retain employees that are overperforming within their positions, reclassification of incumbents that are in authorized FTE positions to better aid in reconstruction of job functions within internal departments. Any questions?
Yeah, I need to hear a little something about the 48 new positions.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Melissa Davis, Interim Deputy Commissioner, Department of Public Works. The creation, the majority of those positions are for, to cover the unhoused encampments. That's a new initiative that the department has undertaken. And we're also moving forward with the beautification and graffiti cleanup efforts. This year we started that program. Wanted to allocate more resources going into fiscal year 25. We also wanted to add a few positions to address our green space designs, and so that's another initiative that the department is undertaking.
Okay, so the unit, so some of these positions are going to support this group that's going to deal with
The unhoused encampments.
unhoused
Yes.
encampments. So, I mean, there's some of that work being done now.
Yes, sir. So many of those positions are already in place as extra help, so we're converting those positions to permanent.
Okay, so this is going to be, but now this is going to be kind of a standalone specialized unit?
Yes, it's part of special services.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Section 27, Solicitor's Office, total action 10. Personnel associated with the Mayor's Safe and Secure Housing Initiative and robust nuanced cases, retaining employees with institutional knowledge and attracting skilled personnel. Any questions? Section 28, Watershed Management, total actions 102. Class creation and position transfers to establish needed position titles in the department to support pay differential. Reclassification with incumbent to acknowledge an increase in skill and contributions across the department. The action will aid in aligning the scope of work with the title and closing the pay disparity. Reclassification without incumbent will allow resource gaps to be filled with existing vacancies and to assist with extra help positions. Any questions? Council members, this concludes the FY25 personnel paper review. Before we end, I do want to acknowledge the tremendous efforts of all the HR staff as well as the departments that provided the necessary information. Their cooperation and diligence with this process has been invaluable in ensuring the accuracy and completeness of this document. Kudos to all.
Okay. I mean, I would just say don't exhale yet because, because those of us who didn't get this right before we walked in here got it during the presentation. So we're all, I know, going to go home and look this over with a highlighter over the next couple days. And then we're to expect a substitute of some nature Wednesday. So I imagine between now and then, more questions will pop up. Mr. Wan.
Yep, so I just want to recap my outstanding items are transportation, for all the departments, the creation position, funded and unfunded. And then in terms of position transfers, the ones with the two biggest ones that aren't enterprise funds, so transportation and executive offices, just understanding which ones, what the inflow and outflow are on those. And then also typically with this presentation, we'll get something that looks a lot like this that has the head count for each department. If we could get that for FY24 and FY25, just to accompany everything, I think that's a good quick visual of what our employee count is per department and overall aggregate. So if we get that as well. And then my other outstanding ask is just what the results of the conversation regarding the Inspector General request is. So I just want to reiterate those. Thank you.
Anyone with questions or comments? Ms. Overstreet.
Thank you for coming before us today with your detailed presentation. Also, last minute, you know, you're filling a gap, and I appreciate it, and you did an excellent job. Very professional and Johnny on the spot. I appreciate that. And I just want to echo a few things that Councilmember Wan requested. I would like to see those as well. I think in years past, we've actually had to ask for that and get them later. And it all works out fine. You just get it to us and we should be good. But in general, your readiness was something that I'm proud of. Thank you very much for being able to do that.
Yeah, I know this could not have been easy. I mean, this is not easy under the best of conditions. So I recognize and appreciate the extra work. Anything else, Mr. Westmoreland?
I guess I shouldn't go the entire budget season without saying anything into this microphone. Yeah, everyone in this room has clearly put in a tremendous amount of work over the last several weeks and way before that to help make this process what it has been over the last few weeks. So thank you to each of you and the folks who work with and for and around you. And that's all for me until next May. See you guys later.
All right. Oh, yeah, Mr. Winston, I'm sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I will second Councilmember Westmoreland's sentiment around all the hard work and dedication each one of you have done in preparing this and getting this information to us. I will add one more piece to Councilmember Wan's wish list. I'd like to get a comparison of the personnel paper summary by department. Is this document here for at least the last 3 years, just to do a comparison? If you could give that back to us, that would be great in helping us before next Wednesday.
And to the extent you can easily put that together, the sooner you push that out to us, the far better it'll be. Sadly, that brings City Council's FY25 review to an end. And that means that the budget and personnel paper will be ripe for action next Wednesday in committee. So hydrate and go over your notes. I want to thank everyone here. I want to thank staff for sitting through all of this. I want to thank the council staff for keeping us on track, keeping the technology running, keeping the coffee flowing, keeping us fed, particularly at lunch. It's an awful lot of work, trying to keep this train rolling on time. So thanks to all of them, Mr. Wan.
And a quick thank you to Chairman Shook for leading us through this. So.
Never let it be said I didn't do the least I could do. We are adjourned.